8.5 Judeo-Greek. The Judeo-Greek language is known from medieval times onward. It contains an element of Hebrew and Aramaic origin in its vocabulary and grammar, and it is written in Hebrew characters. Since the 15th century, there is also an element of Turkish origin. 3 examples of the Hebrew element are Yavan, meaning Greece. It's an overextension, though, from Ionia, which is the Ionian Islands, which is actually the Hebrew for Greece. A Yavani is a Greek, and a chamor is a donkey. That's vocabulary in Judeo-Greek. And a chamor also means a dunce. And achlanzis, from Hebrew meaning achlan, someone who eats a lot, is actually a glutton. So it's taking the Hebrew word for to eat and giving it a Greek twist, and it turns into glutton. The earliest Judeo-Greek glosses, like vocabulary indexes, are considered to be those in the Aruch from 1101, the Talmudic dictionary by Rabbi Natan ben Yechiel of Rome. 2 other early documents are a fragment of Ecclesiastics, translated into Greek, and a translation of Jonah, containing elements foreign to the language spoken in the 13th century. A fragment of Greek Mishnaic glossary of 124 Hebrew words with their Greek equivalents has been assigned to the 10th or 11th century because of the colloquial phenomenon familiar with Byzantine epigraphy. And a Hebrew manuscript of 99 words probably dates from about 1200, and it's in the Bibliothèque Nationale, the National Library in Paris. A parchment manuscript of the Book of Jonah was found in Crete, and it's dated from 1263. Dalvin explained that because the language is a living experience with changes with each generation, place, and time, no complete precise analysis of oral or written Judeo-Greek can be given. Invading Normans, Slavs, Serbs, Albanians, and Turks have all left their linguistic traces on Greek spoken in Yanina, but far the most dominant of these traces is Turkish. So the many Turkish words, including Arabic words incorporated into Turkish, which entered the Greek language, added a colorful ingredient to the melodic vernacular Greek spoken amongst all the inhabitants of Yanina. Several of these Turkish words found their way into the Judeo-Greek hymns. There had been contact between Epirus and Italy since antiquity, and a number of Italian Jews settled in Yanina at the beginning of the 19th century. So the Italian loanwords in the Greek spoken in Yanina and in the Epirus region is to be expected. The Venetian capture of Preveza in 1684 added Venetian words which are found in Judeo-Greek hymns. Judeo-Greek has also loanwords from Albanian, French, Serbian, and Slavic. So, for example, of a Greek influence, the Yanina Jews have a reception room in their home called the Camera di Riceveri, derived from the Italian. Another example from Salamanca, an author, is marzapadis, from the Italian word marzapane, which in English became marzipan. Then Bonga notes that there are Italian words by the Jews of Yanina, like carrozza, a carriage, levanta, perfume, and cassata, a cheese patty. So, for example, a Turkish loan word would be, for stockings, would be tsurepia in Yanina, and the Turkish word which came into Greek was tsurapia. And then there's a further diversion because in Yanina the Jews called it kurepia and not tsurepia or tsurapia. The Yanina Jews pronounced the Albanian word for cucumber kastravetsi as kastraveki, and then Dalvin heard the pronunciation even as kastravechi. Salamanca claims that the Yanina Jews pronounced the Turkish guiomi for a clay jug as guikum or giyum. So obviously in oral Judeo-Greek, there are other variations which aren't based on anything written. So And Agadah becomes Agadah because in Greek there's no H. And then the G has a hard G sound because it's from the Hebrew Gimel, as opposed to the Greek Gamma, which is a more guttural ayin. In the case of the word Havdalah, the Yanina Jews pronounced it Avdalah because they didn't have the H. And the Yanina Jews pronounce Megillah, a scroll, as Migla, or Tevilah, for immersion, as Tivla, which conforms to epirotic speech. In written Judeo-Greek, Dalvin talks about 6 categories. I'll give a few examples. So you have Hebrew roots and Greek suffixes. So the Hebrew menorah, which in Hebrew is Chanukiah, in Judeo-Greek is Chanukaria. So a Talmudic student, a Talmid, would become Talmiditu, which has a Greek genitive suffix. And then Shabbat in Judeo-Greek becomes Shabbasiu. In other words, the phenomenon of belonging to that noun. So you have half Hebrew, half Greek phrases. In the Judeo-Greek phrase Maton Adonai, by God, and Maton Kol Nidre, Adonai and Kal Nidre are Hebrew, and the other 2 words in each phrase are Greek. So in the expression Mivrikan Pola Tsaroth, many woes have found me, only the last word is Hebrew, and the other 3 words are Greek. In the expression Tonpira Akadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, took him, he died. The first 2 words are Greek, and the last 2 are in Hebrew. In the phrase Kalo Mo'es, Mo'ed, Kalo, good, is Greek, and Mo'ed is the Hebrew Mo'ed, meaning holiday. The expression Timakot Epase, what plague hit him or her, is used when one can't understand a person's behavior. Makot, or plagues in Hebrew, is familiar from the Passover service. So the first and the last words, though, are Greek. The expression Kaloras ke lichanavis, may the prophet Eliyahu be near you, is derived from the Greek Kali Ora, good hour, and the Hebrew name Eliah, and the Hebrew word Anavi, meaning the prophet. It should be Hanavi, but since there's no He, an epirotic in Greek, so that it becomes Anavi, meaning the prophet. A category of Hebrew words and expressions. So, for example, they have the word Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Mazal Tov, have a happy Sabbath, we wish you good luck, Tzedakah, charity, B'siman Tov. And then there's a few Hebrew words in Yanina, which are part of the language, like Avara, which is a memorial. Amalek is this non-Jewish tribe, a symbol of evil. Bar Minyan is an Aramaic word meaning, may it not happen to us. Gezirah, or Gedzirah, an evil decree, is from the Hebrew Gezirah. Lashon Hara, or in Yanina is pronounced Lashon Hara, which is malicious gossip. A catastrophe is Mashchitim, which has a little bit different meaning in Hebrew, which isn't necessarily so devastating. The Hebrew, may you have a complete recovery, is Refuah Shlema. But in Yanina, it was Rifa Salima. A Sachal is a stupid fool, or a Sakai is a pure innocent in a moral sense. They're Greek words used metaphorically in Judeo-Greek for Hebrew concepts. In the creation of the world, Izimiguria to Kozmu, a hymn written in Yanina, the word grama, meaning letter, is capitalized in the middle of a sentence to make the word mean Torah. Now, the last category that Dalvin lays out here is predominantly Hebrew expressions used by Yanina Jews when they don't want their Christian compatriots to know what they're saying. So Ein Ara, literally meaning the evil eye. Another saying would be Ein Emunah Bagoy, you can't trust a non-Jew. Lasara ke me epernes, don't say anything, or lasareke mi vatseris, don't do anything, or mamzer odies, he is a bastard. The article, the is Greek. There's the saying, meditzurs diburim, don't speak, meaning coming from the French dir, to say, in the Hebrew dibur, word. Me is the Greek negative. And last but not least, ten enayin, literally put your eyes on it, used in the marketplace to alert a Jewish vendor to keep a double watch to guard his merchandise against theft. Here's a 1902 song from Corfu, and it's taken from a Greek song dance tune, and it's an original Greek dirge of a mother over the loss of a son in a far distant country. Okay, but the Jews put in all sorts of stuff. They talk about Purim, they talk about rabbis and chachamim, and the whole, because of the Judeo-Greek, the whole form was changed. Since you don't understand Greek, I won't give all these examples. There was another song that was sung on the first of Adar, the Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, which was called Irtame. And it had Turkish words, and it must have been composed during the Ottoman period after 1453. And but the rhymes, the meter, and the accents are strict, but in accordance with Greek language. And for example, it has 8 syllables to the line, except in the introductory stanza. So these are all various diversions. It doesn't mean a lot to you, but it just shows that the Jews had various diversions from the Greek of their Ionian or Ionian neighbors. All right. Now the use of Venetian. The better class of the Jewish community of Corfu speaks the Venetian dialect of some modifications, due to the influence of the Greek, which was the only means of oral communication amongst the first settlers of the island. The latter language, which gradually disappeared as a living one before the newcomer, bequeathed to it a certain amount of its vocabulary and some of its syntactic peculiarities. So, the constant solution of the infinitive, chedigo, or napo, is the Jewish phenomenon. The Venetian of the Corfu Jews accordingly differs from the same dialect as the non-Jews in the town. A characteristic of this dialect is the formation of the O, in Greek omega, omicron, with an accent on it, of the plural of nouns ending in A with an accent. A formation which originated in the Hebrew ending vav-tav, ot, simplified according to the Italian laws of phonology. And so, in other words, where in Greek it should have been an alpha with an accent, because of the Venetian ending, it becomes an O. So in other words, a bracha, a blessing, would now become a baracho, or the city sito, sita becomes sito, and that you won't have in any other instance. Now, there's also instances of Apulian on the speech, since many of the Jews were from Apulian, also Sicilian origin. So the borrowing of extended to words expressing family connections, like patri, matri, frati, plural, the plural fraturi, soru, figu, niputi, maritu, karusu, but also to words like for wedding. So like in Greek, a wedding is a gamos, but because they had a different ending from this Apulian Italian, it became gamu as opposed to gamos, and the plural, which should be in Greek gami, became gamuri. So the simple past tense viti, vidisti, and viti is the only one in use amongst the Apulian Jews, who agree in this respect with the Apulians of the Italian coast. They differ from the latter, however, in the forming the future, which is expressed by means of the auxiliary anzu, I have, as on the continent, and following an infinitive, which is always, as in modern Greek, resolved. So such resolution occurs frequently in Apulia itself with particles mu or mi, but not as regularly in Corfu, where the exception are forms like lu manzari, lu mibiviri, and a few others which are not known for their infinitive forms today. So, whereas Apulians would say diru, agu diri, and agu mi mudici, all for saying, like they said. In Corfu, it's anzu se dichu. You would see it better written out, but we don't have it. So now there's Apulian suffixes which appear in Judeo-Italian of Corfu. So, for example, the plural of horses would be kavadu. The word that would be chidu, chiddhu. And this is totally different than Greek and regular Italian. So there were, of course, loan words, and so they have all sorts of Italian, mixed Apulian and Hebrew combinations. So, for example, a saying which means mind would be tamen solicitatevi, or skin would be lu koryu, not la, not el, not eel. Okay, so this lu is different, much different. Di la carne sua, or army would be la ostia, and coming from the sky would be dili cieli. So because of the Holocaust, all this is gone. So very few people are survived. And then names, for example, Abraham would become Abram, or from Greek Abramaki, or Bambi, Bamboli, Abramino, or Nino. So Solomon would become Selomo, or from Greek Selomaki, Makri, Salomon, or Salomon. Sarah would become Sarah, Sarina, Oari, Oaro, Oarulu, and that O is an omega in Greek, and Oarinu, or Sandra. And Rebecca would be Rivga, Rico, Risheta, or Enrisheta. And last but not least, Simcha would be Micho, Michoni, Miheta, Simichula, Allegra, Allegrina, or as in Greek, Epthemia.